Is a bowl game still on the table for Deion Sanders and Colorado? Are they bowl or bust? I'm going to talk about that on today's episode.
You are Locked On Buffs, your daily podcast on the Colorado Buffaloes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? This is Locked On Buffs. I am your host, Kevin Borber. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege for a first deposit match up to $100. Daily fantasy sports made easy. We are also brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day for free, wherever you get your podcasts. We're free and available wherever. And this is Locked On Buffs, like I said, where we talk about all things Colorado and Deion Sanders. So thank you for joining. Let's dive right in. Are Colorado and Coach Prime bowl or bust? Are they in bowl or bust territory? I would say short answer, no. Second answer, or long answer, kind of, but they shouldn't be. And I'll give you exactly why the first answer is no. Prior to the season, our great graphics designers made this graphic for us. The Colorado Buffaloes win total prior to the season was 3.5. And obviously, if you thought they were going to do better, you hit the over. They got 3.5. They're at 4 right now, so they hit the over. So all those under bettors, unfortunately, you guys do not win money. But for the over bettors, congratulations, they hit. And that was kind of 3.5 was the mark that they were supposed to, that was set for them. So people were like, they're going to win around 3 to 4 games. And they've won 4 games. They upset TCU. They beat Nebraska. They beat an in-state rival in Colorado. They also have come close to beating a couple other big teams. And so like they took USC down to the wire. They had Stanford beat until they lost. So realistically, this team is about, I would say, 3 plays away from being 6-2, but that's obviously not how the cookie crumbled. And so I think a lot of people really had hopes that they would make a bowl game. A lot of people were hoping that they didn't. And so Trevor Woods, the safety, was speaking to the media. And of course, intern Griffin was there. And so he sent me this good quote. He said, "We expect ourselves," and this is Trevor Woods, actually not safety, linebacker Trevor Woods, due to the Jawan Mitchell issues. And he said, "We expect ourselves to get there. I mean, I've never been to a bowl game, so I want to go. And obviously everyone else wants to go. The plan is to get there and get to the best bowl we can." Obviously nothing crazy there, but I still think it shows belief. I think they have 4 games left. They have 4 games to win 2, because obviously you need 6 wins. 6 wins. I don't know why I put up a 3. You need 6 wins to win or to make it to a bowl game. And Colorado has to win 2 out of their last 4. They have a tough slate coming up. It is Oregon State this weekend, who's 13.5 point favorites over the Buffs. Arizona next weekend, and Arizona should be a top 25 team. I think they will be this week if they upset UCLA. They're on scorching. They started a new quarterback, redshirt freshman Noah Fafita, and that he's just the guy. Like, he's athletic. He can make all the throws, super smart, and kind of he's like everything that they were hoping Jaden Delora would be, and Jaden Delora would be at his best. And there's just no like, oh, I'm going to throw into quadruple coverage right now just because I have the arm. Like, Noah Fafita doesn't do that. And I think that was the biggest thing holding Delora back. And so they have Washington State after that, and then Utah. So they could win. I think of those 4 games, I think Arizona and Washington State are the winnable games. And then Utah's a tough game. Oregon State, tough game. I don't like how Colorado matches up against physical defenses and offenses that could run the ball. It hasn't worked out yet. It just hasn't. And those are 2 of the most physical defenses and 2 of the best rushing attacks in the country. But to say bowl or bust, I think I'm seeing a lot of people treat this team as if Deion Sanders is in year 3, year 4, Coach Prime. They're treating it like it's year 3 of the Coach Prime era. And it's like, let's be realistic. He took the job back in December. It's almost been a year since he's been on the job. And he's made them the most popular team in college football. They're the most watched team by a wide margin. He's made them a relevant team. He's already quadrupled their wins from last year, because they only had 1 win last year, as we all know. And he has them trending in the right direction. And I feel like people are forgetting that he's a first-year head coach at the Power 5 level. This team went 1-11 last year. He basically scrapped the roster. He said, if you were here last year, get out. Only 9, I believe, scholarship players stayed, with like Trevor Woods, Anthony Hankerson, Van Wells, and those are the 3 starters off the top of my head that I could think of. Those guys stayed, and Some of them done well, others not so much. But he started fresh. He brought in 50 players from the transfer portal and brought in over 80 new players. And so I think it's a little unfair to be like, if he doesn't make a bowl game, it's a failure. Now, I think people are going to hang on to the fact that prior to the season, he said they wanted to win right away and they wanted to compete right away. And I think people are holding on to that too tightly. No coach is going to be like, yeah, I took this job. First year, we're not going to win anything, but hopefully we start winning in the next 2 years. No coach says that, especially not a guy like Coach Prime, who I don't know if he's ever lost. Like, I genuinely don't think he's ever been a loser, I guess you could say. Like, he has always been on winning teams. He has a World Series. He has a Super Bowl. Like, he's that guy. He's that guy. And so I don't think he's ever experienced just straight up losing all the time. And so I think for people to kind of hold him to this expectation that, oh, he said they were going to win right away, because I don't know how, because let's think about how people were criticizing Coach Prime prior to the season. You have a roster full of transfers. A bunch of them didn't start at their previous stop, or they started at small schools, right? That's what people were saying. And now people are saying, oh, you said you're going to win. Why aren't you winning? The same people that said the roster was bad are now taking a what on them because they might not hit 6 wins. That's not how it should be. I thought 6 wins seemed manageable. I thought that was a good ceiling to shoot for. No, not shoot for, but I thought that was a good ceiling for fans to expect. And we're right around that. I think something, if they get a couple bounces in the next few weeks, they could easily get that. But it's going to take a lot. They need to improve their defense. They need to block better for Shadur. They got to block better for Shadur, like I said. And they just need to get some big plays on defense, because obviously they can't go multiple games without turnovers. I think even the UCLA game, that was a perfect example of, they have to literally play, one side of the ball has to play a perfect game for them to win. So when the defense was forcing turnovers left and right in the first half, the game was close and it was winnable, but the offense wasn't holding up. And so they obviously lost the game. Same thing in weeks prior. The offense would do well and the defense would struggle. They need one of the sides to play perfect, and that's obviously a hard thing to maintain. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about Colorado's standings with the most coveted offensive line recruit in the country. But first, let me tell you about my sponsor over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money this football season. And now I can play Prize Picks during basketball season too. You just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. With basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that include 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James plus Travis Kelce, a 10.5 combo of 3 points made plus receptions. And the best part is, you could play Prize Picks with your favorite famous celebrities like rapper Meek Mill, comedian Andrew Schultz. They're in community plays under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. So if you want to get in on this fun, go to prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege and use code lockedoncollege for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, go to prizepicks.com/lockedoncollege for a first deposit match up to $100. It is daily fantasy sports made easy. Welcome back. We are talking about Jordan Seaton. This is the recruit that I think is the most important in the market for Colorado right now. He is a 5-star, according to 24/7 Sports Composite, ranks number 16 in the country. He's the number 1 offense tackle, number 4 player in Florida, and he's taking an official to Colorado this weekend when they play Oregon State. And I think this class is Travis Hunter, if you will. So obviously he doesn't play a skill position, and obviously he's not going to be playing both ways. But the importance of him is equal to or more than the importance of Coach Prime getting Travis Hunter at Jackson State. That wasn't expected. Nobody saw that coming. So there wasn't expectations there. Last year when he got Cormani, that was like, okay, this is the Travis Hunter effect. But this year, this is a program building block recruit. And let me tell you why. Jordan Seaton is 6'5", 290 as a senior in high school. And this is the recruiting breakdown for him. He has the frame to play either guard or tackle at the college level. I would assume he'd play tackle because obviously their left tackle situation is pretty rough. He says plays left tackle in high school and has legitimate size and length. Saw on multiple occasions during the 2022 season and performed well against strong competition. High level athleticism combined with a nasty streak is his physical and active with his hands, has forceful initial punch, quick feet, allows for impressive lateral movement, has ability to sink hips and explode into defender, brings ferocious attitude to line of scrimmage. Once engaged, drives his legs to push defender back, is difficult to disengage from the high school players, and it's a longer scouting report. So if you want to go check that out, go check out 24/7 Sports. But that's the gist. He's aggressive, strong, hard to get off the line, great blocker. And so you look at who Coach Prime would be beating out for his services. These are his 4 official visits. Obviously, Colorado is this weekend. He took one in October to Florida, where he's from. And then he went to he's going to Ohio State on November 11th. And then he took a trip to Alabama back in June. So he has all the blue bloods chasing after him, all the big programs. And this is a lineman. This is a recruit that Colorado could build off of right away. This is someone who could likely come in, plug and play, and protect either Shadur's blind side or be the left guard in that situation as they try to bring in another tackle from elsewhere. Because they still have Tyler Brown. Not sure where he's going to end up, but they have lineman help kind of coming. They just need as much as they could get. And so if Colorado pulls this off, this would be a massive win for Coach Prime and the Buffs, especially since the recruiting class is off to a slow start. I talked about it yesterday. I think people underestimate how good of a recruiter Coach Prime and his staff are somehow, even though they've they put together a top 25 class in like 10 minutes last year. They rank 63rd in the country right now. They have 10 commits. He would be the highest ranked commit. He'd be their second top 100 commit, and he'd be their second offensive line commit because they also have Talon Chandler from Nevada, Missouri. I believe it's Missouri. Missouri. Sorry. MO and MT threw me off real quick. I didn't know if MO was Missouri or Montana for a quick second. Geography failed me. That's my fault. But they have 2 linemen coming in. That would give them 2 linemen coming in. That's more bodies to protect Shadur. And I said this yesterday. I think the Big 12 is down. I don't think people realize how bad the Big 12 is going to be for the next couple of years. Cincinnati hired a coach who Louisville was probably going to fire. Dave Aranda from Baylor, probably going to get fired. Neil Brown at West Virginia, on the hot seat, could get fired. Dana Holgerson at Houston, hot seat potential. Okay. Then you got programs like UCF. They are working their way up. They're not there yet. And they're going to lose John Rice Plumlee, probably. And so that's 6 schools already, or 5 or 6 schools I've already named. And then you got Kansas State, who's going to be good. Texas Tech, I think, is floundering right now. The Big 12 was supposed to run through Lubbock, and I think they're currently at or below 500. Let me double check. And so I think Colorado has a chance to really contend in the Big 12. I really think they do immediately. They should have one of the best offensive attacks in the country. Yeah, Texas Tech is 3-5. Kansas should be solid. TCU, Colorado beat them, and they have quarterback issues until Chandler Morris is gone. So it is what it is. So there's a lot of rebuilding in the Big 12. So if Colorado can get this offensive line right, they could be winning games right away. And so I think a lot of people are glossing over that fact. So Jordan Seaton, if the Buffs get him, that's a huge get. That's going to be a program-changing one, and it'll help protect Shadur. And that's obviously a major issue for Colorado's offensive line, who's given up 42 sacks, which is first in the Power 5 and second to last, or first, like, worst in the Power 5, and then they're second to last in the country in sacks allowed, with Old Dominion giving up, I think, 43, which is not great for either team. And obviously Colorado, you'd expect more to more focus on the trenches moving forward. This episode of Locked On Buffs is brought to you by FanDuel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options that include spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. There we go. We are back, and to conclude this episode, it is time to talk about the Kevin Borba step up of the week, and not the movie. Great film. I will say I expected to see more dance battles in my time. Haven't seen a single dance battle like the ones in Step Up. Thought they'd be more prevalent in life. That's just another instance of movies portraying things that aren't true. Unfortunate, but who needs to step up for Colorado is what I'm getting to. They have a lot of players who I could point to. I think I'm going to start with. Actually, I'm gonna start with a surprising one. Offensive coordinator Sean Lewis, step up. And here's why. I think when the offense is clicking, his job is easy. I think when the offense is not clicking, his job is hard and he struggles to make adjustments. They are predicated off the big play. They are predicated off the passing game getting going. And when the passing game is not going, this offense is useless. They can't run the ball. They don't try to run the ball. And they simply, it's like they run out of confidence as soon as they get stopped. And so Sean Lewis needs to adjust his scheme, adjust his plays, run the ball, force it down their throats a couple times, force feed a running back, just for the sake of making a team fear the run game. Like, hand the ball off to Anthony Hankerson 7 to 10 times in the first half. If he should run the ball, or whatever running back, they should run the ball at least twice per drive. Throw the ball on first down, run it on second. Run it on first down, throw it on second. Who cares? Just show it's a threat. I think the biggest reason defenses have found success against Colorado is they key in on the passing attack. They literally will stack safeties over Xavier Weaver and Travis Hunter, and they will basically dare Colorado to try to. They wanted to throw deep because everybody's they're back there, they're ready, and they're just forcing Shedeur Sanders to take the short throws. And that kills this offense's confidence because they want big plays, they want explosive plays, and they're not getting those. So he needs to adjust his play calling, run the ball, run the dang ball, as Sandra Bullock said in the now controversial Blindside film. Also, protect Shedeur better. I know you want as many wide receivers out there as possible, but give me 5 offensive linemen out there. Give me a tight end, Mikey Harrison. Get him out there and get Savion Wilkerson, Anthony Hankerson. I don't know who else is available at this time because obviously Alton McCaskill's done for the year. He redshirted, but let me look at. Give Savion Wilkerson or Dylan Edwards, or not Dylan Edwards. Anthony Hankerson, excuse me. Get those two back in the backfield, one at a time, 2 at a time, don't care, and get them blocking for Shedeur. If you have 3 wide receivers compared to 4 or 5, unfortunate, but hey, you kind of, or 4 wide receivers, that would be way more helpful than just having Shedeur Sanders running for his life back there. I think it will open up more big plays if they have a tight end helping block, and then they have a running back helping block as well. I would put the tight end on the blind side, and I'd put the running back on the right side of Shedeur, and just have 2 extra blockers. It can't hurt. It really can't. I don't know why they haven't done this yet. I really would like to see them change something up to help protect Shedeur. I think it's all cool and fine that Shedeur's a tough kid, but there's going to come a time where toughness only gets you so far. We're all human. Some crazy things could happen. Obviously, God forbid something happens to Shedeur, but you don't want to find out by letting him get sacked 7 times a game. So run the ball, change up the schemes a little bit, change up the formations. Offensively, get into a groove right away. I think Colorado sometimes they play, it's like they want to be aggressive, but then when they realize they can't, all of a sudden the aggression's all gone. Play with aggressiveness. Take a chance. Defensively, be a little smarter. I think the targeting call by Shiloh Sanders, while it was a questionable call, it was the right call for the rule. I just don't like that it's an automatic ejection. So you got to be smarter. Shiloh Sanders can't be taken out of the game like that. And then create some turnovers. Secondary needs to create more turnovers. They had 4 last week, and it was huge, and it helped the team stay in the game. I think that's going to be the key to beating Oregon State. Oregon State wants to run the ball, and they will probably try to run it down their throat. If Colorado could force a turnover or 2, it'll make everybody's life easier in general. And then don't lose confidence. I think I've noticed this a few times now when Colorado starts losing early. Or, yeah, I would consider the UCLA game losing early. They were down 7-6, and then they started trailing even more in the second half. They lose confidence, and it's really obvious. I think the effort, I won't say the effort level goes down, but it's like all of a sudden they're playing without swag, and they're playing like a team that's vulnerable or a team that's desperate. And you don't want to be a desperate team in a bad way. Like, you want to be desperate in the sense that, like, oh, I want to win this so bad. Like I want to win, not like a, oh gosh, here we go again. I hope we win. I hope we do okay. I hope we don't get blown out like that. It feels like that to me. I feel like they lose their fire and or their passion once they start going down. They need to learn that they're going to get punched in the mouth. If they haven't learned that already, they've lost 3 out of their last 4. They need to figure that out quickly. And I think the defensive coordinator, Charles Kelly, would like to see some adjustments. I don't know what adjustments they can make to stopping the run. Maybe just better tackling on the defense because, I mean, this defense is what it is. It's a solid secondary. Defensive linemen are okay. Linebackers are okay. And they just need to tackle better. And I think that would be the key to beating Oregon State. So those are my guys, my players, coaches, units that need to step up. Let me know in the comment section who you think needs to step up. I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. I hope you guys have a great Thursday, and I will see you guys tomorrow.